Hey, and welcome to another part of the Your Model Railway Village series. I think this is part, oh gosh, now I have to think. A, B, C, C? Yeah, I think it's 5C or 5D, I don't know. Just look up above the title to check. But basically, we have our Workers Cottage here, and the whitewash has come along beautifully. You can see just there that I have, and I know I said I'd show you, because of various commitments and stuff, I wasn't able to film it. But basically, you can see the remains of my efforts just here. Because I told you that I would show you me filling in the gaps. Look, if I should just show you right up close, you can see there's a little gap there that I have filled in using this sort of putty stuff. And here we go. This is it, fast drying white putty. And all you do is screw off the cap now. Gosh, yeah, it absolutely reeks. It really does smell, so definitely make sure you open a window. And literally all you do is to just squirt a little bit of that onto the card, like so. That's about as much as you need. And then you get a cocktail stick, and then you just basically scoop a little bit of it up onto the cocktail stick, like thus. And then it's just a process, it's just a case of smearing it into the gap. And then don't worry about it being rough, don't worry about it being a mess, because you can come along with your fine precision files later and smooth it out and then paint it over and stuff. And so yeah, that's it basically, that's pretty much it. It's just filling in the gap, and I think I had to do a little bit on the other side as well. There we go. So it's just, I mean, it's not essential, I suppose. I could have left it, but I thought, well, I've gone to this much effort to make the whole model as good as possible so far, so why why stop now? Gosh, it's so full. It keeps coming out. So I'm just gonna, oh gosh, now the cap doesn't want to go back on. Get back on. Right, there we go. So the next thing to do then is to just file that down really gently. So I've got a series of nice precision files here, and all you have to do is just really gently. That's probably not the best shape. Let's try a round one like this. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Now, it's really quite simple to do, obviously, and you get a really nice finish at the end of it. You can always go back over it with your whitewash paint, so you don't need to worry about that. But actually, I had a very good comment made to me recently. Let me just find the post-it note, hang on. Okay, I'm back, yes. And I had a very good comment made just recently. If you look on the screen right now, it was by Zelda the Swordsman. And he said that you could maybe try gluing ivy over the gaps. Now, I thought that that was a fantastic idea. Basically, what he's saying is that if you do end up with any imperfections in a building somewhere, like, I mean, that's pretty nice and smooth now that it's been filled in and filed over. But say you did have something much more serious than that, like an actual damaged part of the brickwork, or you didn't have any putty and you couldn't fill in the gap. What you could do, like he mentioned, is just glue some scenery over it. So if you buy like a little bag of Woodland Scenics, well, what's it called? It's kind of like lichen or foliage. You could just get some of that and then glue it over to make it look like the building has got ivy growing over it, or some other sort of climber, and it saves you having to worry about filling in the gap. And I thought that was a really good idea, and so good that I'm hoping that I can get to show you that in the future. So thanks very much to that person there for that tip. Very good. And I'm not an expert model builder. I've been doing it for quite a while and I've done quite a few now, but if you do have any more tips for me, or anything you'd like to recommend, or anything you'd like to suggest, please do mention it below. And if it's really good and I like it, I'll be sure to mention it in an upcoming video. So I shall just do the other side as well, and off camera, and then I shall paint the roof. Now we're going for a nice terracotta finish, aren't we? I've got the sheet just here. Remember, this is the sheet that inspired me to do it as a whitewash in the first place. And you can see there that there's a lovely mottled terracotta effect to all the roof tiles. So I'm going to try and recreate something similar. So we want something very, very dark overall, really rich, but with lots of lighter coloured ones too. So it's going to be quite a challenge actually. But in this particular image the tiles are tiny, and with our model the tiles are much bigger, so it's not going to be too hard. So I'll get that little bit sanded down, filed down, and then we'll try and knock up a terracotta colour. Okay, so welcome back. It's only been about 5-10 minutes. I've mixed up what I hope is going to be a really nice base colour for the roof, and it's basically a mixture of the colour I made ages ago, which is a sort of terracotta colour, brick colour, isn't it? It's sort of it's the one I did the actual station house in, and I've still got loads of it left, which is really good. So I put a little bit of that into the mixing palette, along with some of the black, which took 10 minutes to mix up because it's such a huge tin. And then I gave that a bit of a stir, and I ended up with something that looks exactly like what we saw in the photo a few minutes ago. So I'm going to take my Tamiya brush, which has got a really nice flat edge, and I'm going to give it a go. Here goes nothing. Now I haven't even really got a nice piece of plastic to just test it on, but I think it's going to be okay. Oh yes, look at that. Look at that. That's going on perfectly. That's exactly the right colour I needed, because that's going to form the base coat, you see. That's going to be the darkest, most numerous tile across the whole roof. And then basically all I need to do is to lighten some of the others. So I'll crack on. Hey, and welcome back. Thanks for being so patient with me during this entire series. They are taking a while, aren't they? Because I'm so insistent on getting them just right. Okay, brush is all cleaned. Got the lid back on that. Okay, let's have a look at what we've done. There we go. So that's the that is the base coat. And as I say, if I just get that little photo again, look at that. See? Not bad, eh? So bear in mind that is literally the base coat. So this is going to be the dark bits that you see here, and then we're going to highlight some of those tiles and bring them up and make them lighter. And you'll just have to wait and see. You just have to trust me on this one. I know what I'm doing. It'll be fine. Once that's done, obviously we need to paint the guttering black. I might paint the ends black as well. I haven't decided yet. And then of course there's the window frames and the doors. Yes, of course, the doors will need doing too. But other than that, the only other thing that'll need doing is weathering, but I'm going to save the weathering until last, because I'll be weathering this and the station house and basically loads of other buildings, and maybe even some rolling stock and stuff, all in one go, because I'll do an entire series on weathering. So right now I need to let that dry before I can come back and make little bits of it lighter. Hey, it's another day, another dollar. Update. Okay, as you can see, the roof is, well, I can't say it's finished, but I've done with it for now. There we go. You can see all the multicoloured tiles that I've done on the top, the sort of mottled effect, the mottled terracotta effect. Now, I know it might look a little bit too neat at the moment, and it looks a little bit fake, but that's fine, because the next step is to weather it, and that's what will make it look really, really good. So now I've done that, I'm going to apply a lovely black to the guttering and the window frames, so that it really does start to look like this little cottage there, the Workers Cottage. And then, well, yeah, as I say, it's applying bits of detailing and then weathering. Hey, and I'm back. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to show you something really quickly. I'm just painting the guttering on the building at the moment with this beautiful black, and I've just gone right around the gable end, and then as I've gone around the second half of it, you can see that because of the brush stroke I was using at the time, I've made a mistake. Look, I've gone over onto my beautifully painted tiles, but it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'm going to incorporate that into the weathering. as you'll see later in a future video, it's not worth doing all the tiles again. It will be okay. When I do the weathering, I shall just make it look totally natural. It's fine. So I just wanted to show you that even if you make a mistake, sometimes you can get away with it. There's things you can do. So watch out for that in the future video. Right, I'll carry on. Okay, so hey, and welcome to the final part of part 5C. Yeah, whatever. Right. So here we have the little cottage, and you can see I have done quite a lot of work on it. In fact, if I just peel this off really gently, like that, I don't think there's much more to do really. Well, not at this stage. You can see that I have painted the doors, and I've painted the windowsills and the, oh gosh, what's it called now that goes over the top of the windows? I can't think off the top of my head, but I've painted them. I've painted the guttering. I've made sure that the gable ends are all okay, and I have applied quite a lot of colour, as you can see, to the roof. I definitely don't need to apply anything more because it would just be over the top. That's perfectly primed and ready for weathering now. And yes, I know I've done the doors deliberately that way. So look, this one's blue, but on the front they've got the green one, or vice versa. I think this is probably the front of the cottage. So this person's got a green door on the front, but then it's blue on the back. I've done that deliberately. I just thought it was quirky. I like to do little things like that every now and again. I may change my mind. I might paint them all red. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It's ready for weathering. Now, as I did mention, there are a few places where it's imperfect, but the weathering again will hide that. So we've got the little patch over here I had to cover it with not tacky wax, white putty. And we've got the little patch over here near the gable end that's got paint on it. Again, the weathering will sort that. So this little worker's cottage is now ready and primed, ready for weathering. But I'm going to do loads of weathering at a later date. I'm not going to do it now. So it's time to say goodbye to the worker's cottage, put it away, and then move on to the next piece.